Arcaneandstellar, and I'm here with a 2-week prediction. So the next 2 weeks, what can you expect? What's coming your way? That's what we're looking at. So this is timeless, and you can come and watch it at any point in time that you feel drawn to it, of course. Now, one thing I will say is thank you to Super Me Adventure, because they had requested this, and they had said, could you do a lot more next 5, 7, 2 weeks, etc. type? It's been accurate pretty much for me, but I can't do the same clip more than 1 or 2 times because I already know the predictions. So yes, totally understandable, and I appreciate that request. And you guys, if you feel like doing a request, don't be shy. Always request. And by the way, if you are a member on my channel, I do a lot of next 7 to 10 days prediction videos. Those are quite common. And so you can check them out there too if you want to join here as a member. And I also do some other topics. And I also fulfill requests there as well. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the piles. And I want you to use your intuition. I just want to, kind of remind you all that pick-a cards are very much based on your own intuition, and it's a wonderful exercise for building it up. And you're going to find that they're accurate. The more intuitive you are, the more you practice that intuitive muscle, the more accurate you're going to find that your readings will be, etc., etc. So we have 4 groups to choose from. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you may find yourself drawn to more than one, and that's totally fine. So once you've selected your number, your group, you can go ahead and find those timestamps, and you can go right to your message. It's in the description box, as well as other things like all the links to the decks that I'm using on Amazon where you can purchase them. And of course, if you do purchase, by the way, through my links, it does give me a little bit of, it gives me like a little boost sometimes, and I usually use that to buy a new deck. And when I do gather it up, it usually takes like every 6 months or so I'll get something, maybe enough for something. But anyway, it's just nice, and if you want to do that, you are supporting the channel, obviously. And also, if you want to support the channel in other ways, you can do that by buying something off my wish list or leaving a tip on this video. But most importantly, you guys, subscribing and commenting, it means a lot to me, so I do appreciate it a lot. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started, and I will see you in your reading. Hello, so you've chosen group number 1. Let's find out what's happening for you over the next 2 weeks. So we have got this beautiful deck that Courtney got me. Pay attention to new thoughts and ideas, as they are seeds that will soon blossom into fulfilling opportunities and projects. Pollination. So certainly we see the energy of seeds being planted, pollinating. There's a pollination going on in your life, in your mind. So I feel like over the next 2 weeks, you're going to see a lot of potentials that actually could bring further growth down the line. So in some ways, this card reminds me of that T card that I have, where it's like a meeting with a stranger could be important, or, the chain of events that will affect your life. There's another one as well. And those 2 cards, whenever they come up, I know something's kind of percolating, something is taking form. There are certain little seeds being planted, and I can tell you over the next 2 weeks, definitely pay attention to the ideas, what inspires you, the little things that kind of come your way, because I feel like that they are going to foretell bigger things down the road, okay? So some of you might have wonderful business ideas, or you might have good ideas about your future, sowing seeds that will blossom in the future. So we've got that energy there. I love it. And let's see here. Oh, okay. So we have shrewdness and resourcefulness, especially in business, with the fox. And we have broken ring, parting of ways in either romance or business. And we have the novice, innocence, beginner, ignorance, new skill without practice, unstable, curiosity. We have the seer, and we've got walking away in the reverse. So what do we have over the next 2 weeks? Well, first of all, I feel as if Spirit definitely comes through to remind you to listen to your intuition, to listen to your guts, and your gut feeling, your guts. That sounded so dramatic. Ha! Anyway, follow your intuition. I actually really feel like you guys could have a situation where there might be other people in your life that might think that you're foolish, or you might have one person in particular, or maybe there's a fear inside of you where you're really wanting some sort of fresh start, but it's almost like maybe like the world around you or the energy that you feel around you, you worry that perhaps people might judge you, or they might think you're foolish or silly or weird or whatnot, you know what I mean? But actually, I feel like following your intuition, and I think that you're going to have some sort of occurrence over the next 2 weeks where you do follow your intuition and you end up being right. But to others, it may not look that way. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, why are you being silly? Why are you being like this? You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that anyone's against you per se, but I do feel like if there are such people in your life, you need to detach from those kind of connections, because you don't want anyone who impedes your intuition and your intuitive feelings. So that's one thing I will mention for some of you. Now, the walking away card in reverse usually is telling us that we're looking back at the past in some way, shape, or form. And it isn't a card that really talks about walking away. It's actually someone who is perhaps kind of looking back at habits, or not quite letting go of bad habits, of fears, and all that sort of thing. This can talk about habit and familiarity. It's like when we feel familiar, it feels comfortable, it feels, this and that. I feel like that there may be certain decisions that you're taking. It's like almost like walking away from a certain job, or walking away from a certain friendship or relationship. It could be romantic, it could be something, or even it's like the place you live in, the town you live in. It's almost kind of like, I really know that I need to do something. There's something fresh I need to pursue. And I really feel like you guys, I don't know if you'll make those choices exactly in the next 2 weeks, but I think that you're in a sort of changing phase here. Maybe, I think for some of you, you might choose to break the connection to whatever you're looking back on. I don't want you to look at that broken ring and think, oh shoot, I'm getting broken up with my person, or my work, especially if that's not something you're looking at, obviously. But it's sort of like, other things that impede your possibilities. And if any of you are leaving something in these next 2 weeks, like for instance, I'm actually leaving my part-time job in these next 2 weeks. I feel like you guys are actually, even if we were going to miss it, it's like it's actually meant to be. You know what I mean? It's something, it's the time. But anyway, obviously, like I said, I don't want you guys to look at that broken ring, because I don't think for all of you that's going to be, breaking up with a person or a business, like, your job or whatnot. I don't feel like it's necessarily that for everyone. In fact, I think for some of you in terms of work, that's the thing. If you are leaving something, it's because you have your eye on something with the fox, that you have some sort of resourcefulness going on, where you're seeing a trend, or you're feeling it. Some of you guys actually might be really good at channeling into trends and ideas. Yeah. So we have the Emperor. There could be a seeking of more autonomy in your life, more stability. You might be making decisions as a leader, you know what I mean? Whether you have children or you have people that look to you for guidance, you know what I mean? And there may be a fear also for some of you with the Nine of Swords and the Emperor of stepping into leadership roles in particular. You know what I mean? Going at it alone. It's always scary for change. Especially with the Emperor, it's like very stable card, very stable energy. But I think that you're meant to pursue some new things. Definitely, I think that a lot of you could be in research mode. And I think you'd be wise to ask others for advice, or not others for advice necessarily, especially those that detract, but it's like learning. You know what I mean, from other people. Talk to people in the areas or that you want to be in, or things of that nature. So yeah, that's what I'm feeling here for the next 2 weeks for you guys. What's a vibe for love life for the next 2 weeks? The Page of Swords. And the Nine of Wands. I will say that in love, there may be certain moments of not seeing eye to eye. The reason why is because we have the Nine of Wands, and it's in between the Page of Swords and the Page of Cups. Now, we know that air and water are not the, very compatible energies, obviously. One could be a little bit sharp, the other could be a little bit sensitive, and, you know what I mean? It could go different ways. Water tends to be a bit more subtle, manipulative, as an example, not so outright. And swords tends to be a little bit, Aries tends to be a little bit more matter of fact. And I'll just say what I want to say. So we could see a little bit of butting of heads, but it doesn't have to be a bad thing necessarily. For some of you, this could show that there's a spark between you and another person. You could be feeling a little bit passionate. In some ways, this could be a good thing with the Ace of Wands as well. And it may be that you are coming to new conclusions with somebody specific in your life, especially if you are not single, as an example. It could be like, well, you know, and there could be even a hurdle that you get over, especially for those of you that are in partnership. Actually, it could be that you guys are facing a similar hurdle and you're kind of starting over or starting fresh, or you're sort of having that energy there. Now, if you've recently been through a breakup, of course, this could talk about, you know, moving on and that sort of thing. But yeah, obviously everyone's going to have a little bit of a different love life, but I would say it's a decent energy. It's nothing to worry about at all. And let's see here. What's the vibe spiritually for the next 2 weeks? So the Four of Cups could indicate that one is a bit emotionally turned off. And it could be that you have a lot of signs or something like that, but you might find yourself too busy to really delve into your spiritual side. Maybe there can be a little bit of apathy here, and it could just be because you're elsewhere, you know what I mean? Like, you just don't have time. So of course, you know, I could encourage you to take some time every day to kind of nurture that connection to the spiritual side, but it doesn't have to be a bad thing. Sometimes we just are on a track and we're not needing to exactly, you know. For some of you, you might actually be able to manifest in some way or create a lot of good influences in your life. I feel like this could be Spirit saying, hey, make sure that you are putting your efforts into manifestation. If you've fallen off the bandwagon, not really manifesting much, or trying to manifest or write those lists, or, you know, make those notes in your head, or send those, you know, vibes out to the universe, it's like, hey, you know, get back on track. And for some of you, actually, I kind of think with the Magician here that there could be a change or a shift towards the end of the next 2 weeks where you are feeling a lot more aligned and a lot more capable, confident, and that sort of thing as well. And you might find that your energy is shifting more towards creation. You know what I mean? Creating something in your life with energy. You know what I mean? Some of you may end up doing a spell over the next 2 weeks, especially if you're into such things, or some sort of, you know, kind of behavior. Yeah, I guess some kind of something like that for some of you. That might be helpful. And then in career, we see that resourcefulness. So I don't know if I'm going to delve too much into career. I think that I might just leave it here, you guys. But that is what I see. Something new in your life, though. I do see that. So I definitely feel like there's beginner vibes, innocent vibes. Some of you might be trying on a new hobby or trying something new, creating something new. Maybe you're trying a new project or something like that. You might be like, just as an example, it's like I want to start a cross-stitch project. I haven't done cross-stitch in years, so it's like a whole new world for me. And we have that Two of Wands as well. I feel like, you know, or it's like you're starting like, you know, like I like sewing, so it's like a new sewing project or something like that. But I feel like you guys could be trying, researching, doing something new. Some of you might be trying new places or going or trying to, like, you know, go to new places that you've never been before, like cafes or something like that, you know what I mean? Like, let's try out this new place, let's do this new thing. You might even, for some of you, I feel like you might meet up with a friend at a new place or go out with a friend at a new place as well. Okay. And we have apology, and a sincere apology is coming your way over the next 2 weeks. So you might find some apologetic energy coming your way. And we also have adventure, something new and fun. Like I told you, yeah, there's some adventure We also have a debt is paid as well. So we can see the energy surrounding a debt. You know what I want to tell you too with the walking away and the novice? I kind of wonder if some of you might close something up over this next 2 weeks where you're really, it's kind of like, yeah, the debt is paid, metaphorically, and you're able to kind of just start new. It's like kind of like, okay, I did my time. Yes, I'm walking away. I kind of got new energy. I got new things to think about. It's even for sometimes, like for me, like if I get behind on my readings as an example, it's like I can't do anything else until I finish them because then I feel guilty and bad. Or even with like sewing and stuff like that, my quilting stuff, my quilting projects, it's like I will want to buy new things, like new fabric, new this, new that, and I'm like, no, I can't until I finish the other projects that I'm working on because that's silly. But of course we always do. A lot of us crafters and people who do that kind of stuff, of course we'll still do that, but but you may actually find yourself like revisiting something and finally getting past it, like paying off that debt in some way, you know what I mean, like finishing it up or wrapping it up, that sort of thing. And I think for some of you, that's the higher manifestation of this over the next 2 weeks, is that you're really just kind of finishing or wrapping something up. So you're like, oh, wow, I can free myself towards new projects, new ideas, new possibilities, that sort of thing. You know what I mean? Again, we see that sincere apology coming your way as well. Kind of wonder, too, with the love life prediction I had done, if that could be there because of that Nine of Wands. But then there's the Ace of Wands, kind of indicating that fresh start. So, in love and stuff, I would say, like, if you are having something romantic going on in your life, I am inclined to believe if there are any disagreements, you'll definitely hear an apology. Or at least the energy will clear out and things will be better. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's what I'm seeing for those of you that chose group number 1. I almost was thinking about 2 weeks and then I said yeah. Anyway, but I'm going to move on to group number 2. Sorry. And I wish you the very, very best. If you want a personal reading with me, you can do that through my Etsy store, which is linked in the description box. I also would love for you guys to stick around, subscribe, comment, leave me a comment. I'd love that. And if you want to get something off of my wish list or donate to the channel in any way, that's always welcome and appreciated too. But again, a comment's free. It is very nice to see, and it's a great contribution as well. It's very much appreciated. So, any way that you want to give back, there are many different options. But anyway, I want to say thank you so much, and I really hope that you have a beautiful 2 weeks ahead. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time. Hello, my friends. So if you chose group number 2, this is your reading. Now, I know that I'm going to say something really funny here as I'm cleansing the area. As I was going to do your reading, suddenly a song popped up in my head, and I don't know why, but it's Rafi, and it's Listen to the Horses. Listen to the horses, clipping, clopping, hoof beats everywhere, never stopping. Yeah, that song. I don't even know if I sang the song right, but you know what I'm saying? I don't know if some of you might know that, but I wonder why it came through. So maybe there are horses in the next 2 weeks, or palominos, or perhaps there's reflections back to your childhood, because of course Rafi sings children's songs. So I don't know, or maybe there's the energy of surrounding children in your life, that sort of thing. So anyway, I thought I'd mention that. And of course, wow, okay, that's funny. We have to listen to the call. Spirit is singing sweet words of wisdom. Be still and listen. Whoa, okay, that's really weird because, okay, I took a break between group 1 and group 2. I stood up, and that's when the song came to me, when I was like sometimes I like that, to take a break of energy between the two. I don't like rushing from one to the next because I like to clear my mind from the previous energy. And that's weird because I didn't even pay attention. Because I'm an oblivious person. I will tell you, I have ADHD, and so I'm not the most focused person like always. And sometimes I just don't look at the details. I'm not very detail oriented. But anyway, that's really weird. Yeah, music. Okay, over the next 2 weeks. That's really weird. So yeah, Spirit singing sweet words of wisdom, be still and listen. So again, this could really indicate getting messages through songs, through music in some way. And we have the hawk as well. And we have omens and messages, number 11. So some of you might be seeing like 1111 as an example, but there's definitely this energy around signs. I'm actually going to stop right here, actually, and I'm going to take the Angel Guide Oracle, and I'm going to take a card for you guys, which I'm not going to do for any of the other groups because I feel like you guys need it specifically. Because maybe I'll find out what that message that you're getting. Because I feel like some of you are really going to see some certain sign or synchronicity, and you're like, some of you may wonder what it means. Like, kind of, what is it? So I'm going to see what that is. What is that sign meant to be? Clear, cancel, and release. Very interesting. So the 3 C's: clear, cancel, and release. It says, whenever you have a negative thought or say something you then wish you hadn't, you have the capacity to remove that idea or energy from your own energy by saying the powerful affirmation: clear, cancel, release. Angels are ready and willing to help you clear anything that could be standing between you and inner peace. When you draw this card, you're also being encouraged to clear any clutter from your life. If there is dust building up or stuff accumulating in your home, office, car, anywhere else you spend time, clear it now. When you clear physical space, you clear psychic space. Making these simple changes will clear your energy and open you up to experiencing a sense of clarity and freedom. Whoa, okay. So I definitely am going to say, obviously, the clearing of energy is good. And that's really weird, actually, if you think about it, because the Rafi song is a children's song. And you know that sort of thing that they say about when you're mad at yourself or you're having negative, would you say that to a child? You like to a child version of yourself? No, you wouldn't. So maybe there's a need for you to kind of look at yourself as an innocent, not to beat yourself up, not to kind of entertain negative like crap, you know what I mean, about yourself, you know what I mean, shoving such negative shit in your head, or you know what I mean, as quick as you can, just clear, cancel, release, and say those words. Say those words. I clear, cancel, and release this, and I'm not going to deal with it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to put up with these negative thoughts. Okay, so let's see here. We have got feeling tied down and frustrated. And we also have financial pinch. We have love, true love, and fidelity. And we have attachment. Okay, let's find out about this feeling tied down or frustrated. I'm going to ask a little bit about that energy. We see that attachment too. And that's maybe where it's coming, clear, cancel, and release. Like when you're feeling tied down and frustrated, is it, you know, I think there's some energy here of like, you know, letting go of the attachments. I feel like a lot of it is confidence issues, actually. I mean, of course there could be frustrations around a lack of recognition. There's that possibility. But more so, I want to tell you guys, I kind of take this as much more, oh wow, yeah, especially now that I saw the Nine of Swords, yes, okay. I take this much as more psychological in nature. Like it's a psychological mindset that you're going through rather than something outward happening. You know what I mean? Like, of course there can be certain things that kind of disrupt our flow and piss us off or annoy us or, you know, get in our way, but I do feel like it's a little bit of I think it's something that's manageable. It doesn't feel like your life's crashing down per se. It's just like, you know. In the upright position, the attachment card reveals that your passage forward is being stopped by strong attachments to old patterns or people from the past. The chain at your wrist is bolted to fear from the past or desperation about the future. Although you may wear the mask of pretense and even contentment, you simply can't seem to go forward. The stuff that's keeping you stuck could be physical addictions, emotional traumas, patterns, or even old relationships. Are you living in fear, addicted to old unhealthy habits, or so desperate about the future that you can't be happy now? If so, the chains that bind you could be of your own making. This card is telling you it's time to break out and take the action you need and move forward to an open, free, healthy, and authentically happy life. It may take some courage and effort to let go, but know that you're capable of doing it. Until you do, the energy will just repeat itself, keeping you stuck. So, like I said, maybe you guys are battling over. I would like to say with the Six of Wands, there's a winning energy, to this. And maybe you guys are actually going to win over these, like, things that kind of mentally trap you, whether it's like in confidence or fear or, kind of like negative attachments. Sometimes we get those because we're afraid, and it feels familiar, and, it's just easier. What's up with the financial pinch card? Let me find out a little bit about that. I don't feel like this is a problem per se. I just think here, prioritize what you can with finances. I really do feel like this is just sort of a warning, not a prediction, like as in it will happen. It's more like Spirit's giving you that chance to have a heads up. Pay attention to your feelings when you're purchasing something. In particular, like perhaps some of you might find it's better to abstain from any big purchases. The other thing I would tell you is to double check, things going through. It's almost like as if something could get charged or something without you expecting it. Or too many charges go through at once. Or you have that kind of thing in the bank where you maybe spent a certain amount. You were making some purchases, but then they sort of like didn't go through, and then they pile up all at once, and then suddenly you have an overdraft. So, as a recommendation, of course, especially if those type of things ever happen to you, in particular with your bank, and you're like, oh yeah, that happens sometimes. Watch out for over these next 2 weeks. I don't feel like this is a financial pinch is really something that will be long lasting or horrible. So even if you do have like a little bit of a financial pinch, I don't think it's something that you won't survive, or you're like homeless, or you're in a terrible position. Obviously, don't worry. It's just that you might need to be diligent towards that, energy. Now, we also love true love and fidelity. So I definitely, obviously, see love energy in the next 2 weeks. Obviously, yeah. We have the Ace of Wands here. So for some of you, there could be, we got the Eight of Wands too. There could be new possibilities in your love life. By the way, there could be messages incoming. There could be a visiting someone. There could be going on a trip with your partner, if you have one, or your love interest. There could be a lot of talking, communication, flirting. This is good energy, okay? So, if anything, it feels supportive in your love life in some way. Even if you're single, this could mean that possibility, that spark with you and another. This looks pretty good. And then in your spiritual life, obviously we have a lot of omens coming your way, so I don't even think I'll really focus on that in this particular group. Let's see. What about work, career, schooling, that sort of thing? Anything over the next 2 weeks? Ooh, we have the Six of Pentacles. There could be offers, possibilities, money coming in, that sort of thing. You might actually find ways to kind of create more income or more possibilities as well. There could be recognition of some kind. Some of you are just getting paid over the next 2 weeks. There could be certain changes in your work for some of you. But I feel like if you're making changes, that's specifically for those of you that are manifesting this. It's not like unexpected. It's sort of like you already know it's coming. So some of you, if you know that there's change coming in career, it's like you know it already. It's not unexpected. It's not from a bad place. It's like you could be like, moving towards something more financially stable or a different job for some of you. But I think it's all fine. Like, it looks all good there. Let me see. What blessings? Let's talk about blessings real quick over the next 2 weeks. Ooh, rekindle, a reconnection to the past. We have the mindset card. And family. Happiness within the family. I love it. So that's the one thing too about love and fidelity, is looking for it in the right places as well. And family doesn't always have to mean our nuclear family. It can talk about, the people that are in our life that feel like family, that are always there, and that sort of thing. I would definitely focus on those connections. With rekindle, of course, like I said, there could be a rekindling with someone from the past. Of course, if there are any negative attachments, you want to check that out and make sure it's a good rekindling. But usually, like, these cards are blessing cards, so it's a good thing. You know what I mean? And maybe for some of you, that's sort of like you are rekindling your love for something from before, like a project or something that you had on the back burner or that you kind of put off to the side. It could be like that blanket you were crocheting and like you're interested in finishing it, or you know what I mean? It could be different things there, but there's definitely a rekindling in the next 2 weeks. And then we have the mindset. Your positivity increases, and that's the one thing I really do see, is that I do feel like in so many ways that your mindset will improve. And that's where you're really going to find a lot of your benefits too, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's a really good thing for you. But anyway, that's what I'm seeing for those of you that chose group number 2. I really do hope you enjoyed this reading. It was helpful and insightful for you, and I wish you the very, very best. I'd love if you guys left a comment down below. Sorry. And you let me know what you thought. And if you want to get back to the channel in any way, you can do that through my wish list on Amazon. I have that all in the description box, as well as there's ways to donate. You can donate on this video here with a super thanks. And then, of course, there's also my Venmo and PayPal and all that good stuff in the description box. If you want to get a personal reading with me, you can do that through my Etsy store, which is also linked in the description. I mean, everything's in the description. I got it all there. I got a whole dang book on there, it feels like. Anyway, I wish you the very, very best. Take care of yourselves, guys, and I will see you next time. Hello, my friends. So if you chose group number 3 here, let's see what the next 2 weeks holds for you. So we have got, starting out, the card called Forward Motion, and it says, get up off your perch and move your body to usher in new energy and create positive momentum. So I think that this can really say, obviously, that you're going to be like my bird and very active. You're going to be flying and getting involved. He really wants to sit with me. I'm sorry, you guys. He's just in a mood. Okay, so no, anyways, really though, you might be you might have a lot of momentum, you might have a lot of energy. I feel like you guys are going to be getting a lot done in this next 2 weeks. We have here an exciting event. So some of you might actually be really excited because you have some sort of event coming up. Like, there might be something that you're really working towards, or, for some of you, maybe there's like a particular project or something, like maybe there's a deadline for some of you and you're like kind of steaming ahead. But yeah, we also have happiness and well-being. We have the Harlequin. We have the Temple Path and Indecision. Ooh, okay, so this is interesting. Now, we have, I want to tell you, I think that you guys are going to have somebody who has a crush on you and is not revealing their feelings. So I do think somebody has an eye on you over these next 2 weeks, or somebody in the span of time. And yeah, I feel like that they're not exactly revealing themselves, to you in some way. Like, they're not going to, I don't know. I just don't think that they'll necessarily say anything. The other thing I want to tell you too is that it feels as if you're just coming off as very kind of beautiful and vibrant over these next 2 weeks as well. And maybe it's because you are kind of fueled up with happiness and excitement, anticipation. Perhaps there's it does feel like that there's something that you're looking forward to in some way. Or there will be something to look forward to, over these next few weeks. Like, maybe you don't know it right now, but you will know it soon. I do feel like that there's something happy. There's just something that's going to really light up your sky, I guess you could say, metaphorically speaking. We also have the Temple Path, and it says, receiving this card represents your own spiritual evolution. The winding path you are on leads you to a blessed temple in a lovely garden, symbolizing the spiritual destiny your soul has had in mind for this lifetime. This card upright is here to tell you that what you're going through right now is all part of your soul's process. You're now on your karmic path and heading in the right direction. And the choices that you make now are important for your personal growth and life lessons. The light around the temples represent the spirit world, your family members and your friends, your angels, your guides, all the loving spirit helpers who long to assist you. Call upon them and be open to their wisdom and inspiration. This is a wonderful life-expanding time, so keep in mind your personal priorities as well as your spiritual connection. Follow your higher intentions. Following your higher intentions will help you move your life forward in dramatic ways, and connecting with spirit and your higher self will have a wonderful influence on all that you experience. Well, that's beautiful because it feels as if it says that you are on your karmic path, you're heading in the right direction, and the choices that you make now are important for your personal growth and life lessons. So definitely, I do see that there's a lot of encouragement from the other side, from your spirit guides, from your past loved ones, from, your ancestors, those in the spirit world that are very much in favor, of how you're going about things. Now, I will tell you that the indecision card can indicate that you are kind of on the fence about something. You may be there may be something over these next 2 weeks that you're really contemplating. Maybe you're not exactly making a full decision. Make sure that you're not ignoring your real feelings, because especially with the Harlequin card over there, with the true feelings perhaps being masked in a situation, it might be more likely that you are needing to look at the real feelings. I think sometimes, and this may be very minor, it could be, the type of thing where you flip the coin and then suddenly you know the answer, because when it says no, you're like, no, I wanted yes, or vice versa. You might practice that a little bit, kind of taking away options and seeing how you react, you know what I mean? Because you might find that certain indecisions are actually kind of worked through with that kind of method. But anyway, yeah, so I love it. You have a very good group. I think this particular reading is quite positive. My bird keeps putting his face in mine because he wants me to kiss him. He makes kissy sounds, but I don't know if he'll do it now because he's too busy focused. Okay, sorry. I had to go hang out with my husband because he was like, I even tried to keep recording because I felt bad. I was like, oh, well, he just wants to be around me. But then he kept trying to play with the cards and stuff like that. And I thought, well, I could try to keep recording, but it just distracts me. It doesn't help me, you know what I mean? It's just keeps me distracted, and then I'm not giving you guys a proper reading, to be honest. So I want to make sure that I'm kind of distraction free a little bit. But wasn't he cute? That was interesting that he actually came here because, like I said, I think things happen for a reason. So perhaps there's a little message behind that in terms of birds. And what's funny is that you have a lot of flying things. You have, my bird came and flew on the table, but also we have the butterfly, we have the hummingbird. Of course, obviously that's a hummingbird deck, so no doubt, but the butterfly on top of that, it's definitely that energy of the flying energy. So it makes you think of feeling light, free, and that sort of thing. Let me see about this indecision. I want to find out a little bit more here and see if there's anything here. We have the King of Cups. So this could be indecision in regards to a person specifically. This also could be, especially, if you identify with that King of Cups energy, it could really show that you are, trying to make the best decision. Ooh, interesting with that Eight of Swords and the Two of Wands. Make sure that your indecision isn't stemmed or rooted in fear, It may be that it's a hard choice that you have to make, or you're a little bit worried about the outcome. But actually, the Two of Wands is quite optimistic and brave, and I think it's a good energy here. Do you know what I mean? I think that, I don't know if you'll solve this indecision over the next 2 weeks, and maybe you don't even know what it is yet. Maybe it'll pop up and then you'll be like, what do I do? But I think if you follow your spirit, your inner self, your higher self, however you want to call it, I feel like you're going to be on the right path. Just get really in tune with your feelings. Now, let me see, for those that are kind of visiting this group, What is their vibe for their love life over the next 2 weeks? Let's say vibe for the love life, because I definitely see the admirer. Ooh. Wow, that's really interesting. I have two possible things here for you guys. For some of you, you actually would be quite surprised at who admires you. I don't think you have a stinking clue. You would be surprised. The other thing I'm going to tell you is that for some of you, of course, this can talk about watch out in your relationships in general, especially for those of you that are in serious relationships in particular. Be careful of not it feels like you get in arguments based on like, well, I don't know what you really want, or you don't really tell me what you really want. For some of you, this could be quite petty. Like, you know, my husband and I will go out and he'll be like, oh, where do you want to eat? And I'll be like, I don't know, wherever you want to go. And he'll be like, well, what do you want though? And I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, you know, like, just tell me. You know what I mean? Anyway, obviously it could be as minor and silly as that. But at the same time, we could see a little bit of differences here. I feel more so it's like speak up, because I feel like one thing I will say is that you need to kind of speak up for yourself in terms of your relationships in order to kind of get the happy outcome. And obviously, I think that if there is any disruption, if there is any argument, find peace in the idea that it will be fine. Okay? Like, it's nothing that's horrible. It's something that could be fixed. And in fact, I think that you honestly could probably avoid it altogether by being honest and open and, you know what I mean? That sort of thing. So for those of you in a relationship, that's what I would say. For the others of you, like I said, I think that someone could be admiring you. I think you'd be quite shocked to know who it is. You may, this could be somebody older than you, or somebody who is, I don't know. There's a significance about this person. Like maybe there's something unassuming, like you wouldn't assume that they would like you for some reason or another. And I don't know if it's because it could be your boss, or it could be like someone you know who's married or something, like, because the emperor is the husband. It could be, you know, I don't know. I don't want to like get you crazy or anything like that thinking about who this is, but I think you'd be quite shocked to find out. I think in some way you'd be quite pleased, and it might feel like, oh, really? I got it, you know what I mean? I don't know if it's something that would turn into like, you know, the romance of a century or anything like that. I don't know yet. And I feel like, you know, you're not going to know that yet. I think it's just sort of someone's kind of secretly admiring you, you know what I mean? And just kind of enjoying your presence. So, what about a spiritual progress here? Yeah, I feel like there will be a lot of energy, like in general. Well, the spiritual progress could be quite nice, actually, with the Empress. This is like card of fruitfulness as well. You could be inviting things into your physical world that, ooh, that's interesting. Some of you may read something new in terms of your spiritual, you know, like life, like something that feeds you spiritually, nourishes you in some way. But also, I was going to say, I think your spiritual self should be focused on how to create healthy changes spiritually in your outer realm. And so that could be making a more comfortable environment for yourself in which you can relax and really tune in. As an example, it's hard for us to find that tuning in spiritually when we're in clutter. So there's that. But also, I feel here that you might actually find that you have some sort of success spiritually. For instance, some of you, especially if like you're a tarot reader or something like that, you might find a good prediction that you've made, or you might feel some sort of success in the spiritual realm, especially if you work within the spiritual realm. You might actually have a financial success even, or some sort of admiration or positive feedback or something like that, right? For others, and for some of you, even if you're not quite there yet, you might have something where you do feel like there's a slight bit of success in your life, like perhaps you know, predict something accurately or you do something along those lines. But at the same time, like I said, I do feel like your outer world, it's like matching your outer vibration is matching your inner vibration, that sort of thing is something to focus on. And you might be focusing on nurturing yourself in general, like, and that's a very, you know, that's a needed thing too, in, you know, in our spiritual life, is making sure we feel well taken care of. So I think that's about all I have to say for you guys. That's your next 2 weeks. Oh, wait. Let me get a few blessing cards before I sign off here. So blessings over the next 2 weeks. Ooh, you'll receive a favor. So someone's doing you a favor. And okay, we've got 2 of them. And well, actually, we have another one on the floor, but we have independence. You're gaining power. Ooh, that's nice. Always feels good to feel a little bit more independent. You could have a little bit more time on your own, or you're feeling a little bit more confident. You might have, you know, this idea of independence around you. We have harmony. A relationship is in harmony, and a sign from a past loved one. Oh, that's really beautiful because of that temple path. So I do feel like that there is a sign from a past loved one coming through pretty strongly for you guys. Also the harmony, you know, a relationship is in harmony. And like I said, even if there was something, like I said, in your life, like say there's a disruption, like don't fret. It's not the end of the world. You'll be fine. You'll get past it. You know what I mean? Like it just feels like chill out. Don't worry. Like anyway, but yeah, there could be a relationship in your life that is kind of harmonious, whether it's a friendship or something else in your life, you know what I mean? Like, so I definitely feel that harmonious energy in relationship. Yeah, Queen of Cups, you could feel quite emotionally content. We also have that Knight of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, so that's a really good vibe, to be honest. So I definitely see you connecting well with somebody over these next 2 weeks. So it could be a new friend, it could be a lot of different things. I'm not going to try to push any certain agendas here in this particular group. You know, I might have various people watching, but yeah, I love it. So anyways, you guys have a beautiful next 2 weeks whenever you watch this, and I really hope it finds you, you know, with a lot of success, happiness, all the good things. And thank you so much for being here. If you would like, I'd love it if you'd leave a comment. It helps the channel. Of course, you can also help the channel by leaving donations. You can do that through the Super Thanks button or through my Etsy. Not in my description, I have a link to like PayPal and all that sort of thing as well. And then, of course, there's my wish list. And I do appreciate, you know, gifts off of there. But again, a comment's free and it means a lot. So thumbs up, comment, do that if you can. And I wish you the very, very best. Personal readings can be done through my Etsy as well. Everything's in my description box, basically. And you can join here as a member on the channel if you want to see some more exclusive content. And yeah, okay, so signing off for now, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Hello, my friends. So you chose group number 4. Oh my goodness gracious. Group number 3 got like interrupted by my bird. So if you want to see that, you can go scroll over there and you can watch him interrupt everything. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started here. So we have the Ruby Throat card, and it says here, speak, write, create. The world needs to hear your song. Woo! Okay, so creation is the word on the street here for you guys over the next 2 weeks. So writing, creating, speaking, all these sorts of things. Now, what I find super, super interesting about this is the fact that you have a lot of air stuff, and I did not even put that together when I was shuffling. That is something else. We have the Wind Fairy and air. We have the Magician in the Mirror in reverse, as well as the Staff you'll be taken care of in difficult times, and the boat. Money or property through an inheritance, a winning or windfall. So, you guys, you're the group I would tell you, play the lotteries, do the scratch ticket or something like that. You might find that your luck is increased. We have money or property that comes through perhaps winning, also windfalls, but also inheritance as well. So you can find yourself being given something of value as well, or some, you know what I mean? It can be that because it is property also. So, for some of you might be getting something over these next 2 weeks. Now, I definitely feel like you have a lot of thoughts going on inside of your head. I feel like that words are a big part of your life, like speaking. You might be doing a lot of speaking in general. You know what I mean? It's just, in general, you might be talking to people, speaking, but you might be really writing. I think that we could have some writers here, or people who are focused on communication a lot. This could be in your profession, or in other ways too. Now, the Magician in the Mirror reversed is a warning that you could be missing a great opportunity. The time is right, but you're not taking advantage of the creative energy of the cycle. You do have the power to transform things for yourself, to create something new, whether a home, business, family, or life direction. You may be resistant to or even disbelieving of the unlimited power you possess, but it's time to wake up. The misinformation and perceived limitations that linger from the past can no longer sustain you. Your life is a mirror that reflects your inner energy, yet you have the ability to change what you see. You must fully open up to the complete truth of your eternal wisdom, talents, and abilities, and take the risk of believing in yourself. Now is the time to dig deep, find the confidence and the courage within you to make the most of this opportune cycle, and you have all the resources that you need, and the unlimited force of the universe is at your disposal. It's waiting for you to recognize and ignite the phenomenal powers that are eternally yours. Whoa. Okay. That's a strong, powerful message, isn't it? So we do see that Spirit is kind of like nudging you to get off your butt and do something about your talents. I feel like you guys have something to share for sure. And you need to be sharing it. You need to be working at it. You need to be doing it, whether it's creating that YouTube channel, or it's writing that book, or it's talking to that person. Do you know what I mean? It's about, or creating that project, you know what I mean? Like that art project. It's not just about words necessarily, but I do feel like it's translating thoughts. But I mean, all art projects, as an example, come from thoughts, right? From our mind. And so your mind's powerful, your words are powerful, your actions are powerful, your hands are powerful. You know what I mean? And it's all about what can you put out there. And I just feel like there's that strong message there. We also have a new relationship blossom. So you might be discovering or, kind of looking at a new person in your life, or having a relationship that is kind of blossoming in some way. Of course, the maiden makes me think of like romantic relationships. So there's that possibility. Let's see here. I will say for some of you, don't ignore some sort of potential in your life. Don't get hung up on something else, because you might actually have something of value coming your way. And this could be a person. I want to say that I think that you should definitely pay attention to the people in your life at this time, especially newcomers or people who are well experienced, knowledgeable, perhaps older, wiser, that sort of vibe. I do wonder with the Seven of Swords if there's some sort of fear of that can pop up, Let me see. Clarify that Seven of Swords. Yeah, there could be a fear of getting hurt. So try not to bring that into anything here. You know what I mean? That's really interesting. In any way, shape, or form, whether it is like a relationship, like say the relationship is with a project or an idea, and you're just afraid of, failing, or and maybe failing again in some way, or somehow being a failure in the future, even if it's not again. Maybe you never had it before, but you're afraid. I would definitely say not to engage in such kind of thoughts here. What's your love vibe for the next 2 weeks? Like romance, love, that kind of thing, relationships. What's the vibe? Well, the Six of Wands is a good vibe. That's a generally confident. Like, you might not be, well, first of all, okay, hold on. I'm going to take one more card. Okay. Oh, beautiful. Okay, so we have the Six of Cups here. Oh my goodness gracious. And we have the Empress. Okay, love vibe over the next 2 weeks, you guys. Well, there's admiration, definitely. Could be somebody really looking at you and not making a move necessarily, but really kind of taking a look at you. It almost reminds me of like those secret admirer vibes. You could also find yourself looking at someone else and not really taking a move. Because, of course, the Hangman could represent you, where you're not exactly eager to move forward in any way. Maybe you're just like kind of peaceful in admiration from afar or something like that too. But of course, with all the other energy, I would definitely encourage you to connect, especially with the Six of Cups there. Especially if you're single and you have your eye on someone, try to connect with them, try to speak to them, try to talk to them, engage in conversation, that sort of thing. I think it's favorable for you, to be honest. Yeah, to be honest, that's what I think. Now, if you are in a relationship, of course, this is kind of a nice energy, I think. I think it's one of, you know what I mean? It feels peaceful. It feels nice. It feels like, there's friendship, there's, companionship, there's all of the above. There could be a strong focus on children, especially if you have any. And the other thing I was going to say is there could be a lot of memory lane type of things, or that sort of thing coming up. Maybe reflections of the past, that sort of thing. But like I said, it's all very positive. Love life seems good, and especially even if you're single, I think things look pretty fabulous as well. Now let's see, vibe for career over the next 2 weeks. What's the vibe for the career? Oops, darn it. Strong efforts will bring rewards, I will say. Four of Wands is a very positive card. Could be a celebration at work, or there could be something to literally celebrate, or it could feel like there's a lot of stability after some struggle, because the Seven of Wands, we can feel like the world's against us sometimes, or that things are against us, or that we have all kinds of energy coming at us, or like we have to kind of stand up and fight. So that means that generally I think that things come to a peaceful resolution. Now, there can be, like I said, I think that there's peace after like a bit of a struggle, and you're very close to achieving certain goals, and sometimes it's like that final push, that you could be going under. But like I said, I think it should be fine. Maybe there's some like things that you'll have to kind of push on, push through, but it's like, it'll be worth it in the end, because you'll get a break, or you'll have that sort of Four of Wands, peaceful kind of energy, celebratory energy, good stuff, right? And it's like all's well that ends well. Anyway, okay. And your spiritual life. I feel like spiritually, there will be some sort of occurrence of realizing that blockages are sometimes for a reason, for a higher purpose. And I think that you might have some proof of that over the next 2 weeks. I will tell you that I don't feel as if your spiritual life is very much your focus. I feel like that there may be certain other things on your mind, you know what I mean? It's just that it's not heavily on your mind. You will find that in the lightest moments, in the kind, that's what I get, the lightest moments, like it's kind of like lighthearted, kind of like easier moments. It's like you might actually find great spiritual thought and philosophy, kind of like, you know, it's like you channel things in the strangest, oddest moments, or you see things in the innocent, you know, in the innocence of the world around you, sort of. It's just like you observe someone and you're like, interesting. It gives you a thought. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just kind of like very philosophical. It's very easy. It's kind of come and go. And again, I think that the main spiritual thing over the next 2 weeks will be that you kind of realize why something didn't happen. And you're like, oh, Spirit's got my back. You know what I mean? That was a good thing. It all worked out. And you might even feel like you come off like out of it like unscraped. You know what I mean? Like it's like a good thing. Okay, so last but not least, let's get some blessings. We've got invitation. You'll get an invitation. Ooh, safe. I love this one. And turn around. So we can see a difficulty turning around, especially with work life as an example, especially because we saw that Seven of Wands, you remember it? I kind of felt that there could be certain struggle, and then it's like it turns around. Yeah, we can see that there. And then we have safe. You're feeling safe and secure, and that's a big one. It might be that you're feeling quite like comfortable in your life. You might be feeling that safety, you know what I mean, of feeling like, whew, I feel like I'm safe in my life. You know, whether it's having a warm home, or, you know, knowing that your rent is paid or your house payment's paid, or, you know, whatever it may be, but there is that feeling of security. And we have invitation. You'll get an invitation. So clearly, I think that, you know, someone might ask you to come, you know, join them, do something, or you might be invited to someone's house, or there's definitely an invitation coming your way as well, which, like I said, will be a blessing. I would definitely accept the invitation. Anyway, that is what I'm seeing for those of you that chose this particular group, group number 4. And I hope that it helps you and was insightful and helpful, like I said. Anyway, take care, you guys. I will see you all next time. If you want to have a personal reading with me, you can do that through my Etsy. And if you would like to get back to the channel, I'd love a comment. That means a lot to me. But of course, you can also do donations via the Super Thanks button at the top, or through PayPal, Venmo, all that stuff in the description box. I also have my Amazon wish list, and I always appreciate, you know, gifts off that. That's fun to get a surprise. But it's not obligatory, obviously. I really do love just comments. They mean a lot to me. And you guys, I wish you the very best. Take care, and I'll see you next time.